Greetings and welcome back to room 303 in our chats with Emily, as we are calling our readings through the poetry of Emily Dickinson. We are in the Johnson edition, and we turn out a poem 602 of Brussels, It Was Not. Now, this is a fascinating riddle poem, another one of those nature riddle poems. We'll go ahead and get it out of the way. Emily is seeming to talk about the blanket or the carpet of some pine needles that have fallen on the forest floor, and she's, taking her walk and noticing it. We'll get to the whole Brussels referencing and the whole idea of famous economic centers where special lace was made and that kind of thing. Our assumptions are that you've been following our stuff at learnstrong.net. Down that left-hand side, Chats with Emily's our playlist. I'm hopeful that you'll already worked through our set of introductory comments. I'm hopeful that you've worked through the preceding 601 poems. We just finished with 601, A Still Volcano Life. Now, we're back to Emily's play with nature. We're back to Emily using economic language, and her knowledge of economic centers and fashion will come back to play. None of this is new to us. We've seen it elsewhere. She'll say it this way. Of Brussels it was not, of Kidderminster, nay. The winds did buy it of the woods, they sold it unto me. It was a gentle price, the poorest could afford. It was within the frugal purse of beggar, or of bird, of small and spicy yards in hue, a mellow dun, of sunshine and of sear composed, but principally of sun. The wind unrolled it fast, and spread it on the ground. Upholsterer of the pines is he, upholsterer of the pond. Now, of course, to read the word pond makes us immediately think of her contemporary Thoreau and Walden Pond, no doubt. Of Brussels, notice, she says, it was not. Now, the it, we're going to argue, is a collection of pine needles on the ground that looks kind of like a blanket or some piece of beautiful lace. Of course, Brussels, Belgium. And then Kidderminster will be Worcestershire, England, 18 miles southwest of Birmingham. Another center where great lace is made, showing Emily's understanding of the geography in England. And she'll say, no, it didn't come from either of those two centers of special use. By the way, both Brussels and Kidderminster are only used once in all our poetry. It's here. Well, what is it that provided this? Oh, that was provided by the winds. The winds did buy it. Notice again all this economic language. Of the woods, they sold it unto me. Notice again, she injects herself now into the poem. It was a gentle price. I think the word gentle is the key of this word of this entire poem. In other words, it wasn't expensive. It wasn't extravagant. It was gentle. The poorest could afford. It was within the frugal purse. We go from gentle to frugal purse. Of beggar, of bird, of small, I told you, in 77 of her poems, she loves this word small, and spicy yards in hue, of mellow dun, of sunshine and of sear, that is to say dry or withered. Back to gentle again, and I think this may be one of the key words of the poem as well, composed, but principally of sun. In other words, what is it that produces this laying on the ground of pine needles? And of course, those of us who live out here where we get to walk in the hills, we see this all the time, don't we? Especially at the end of the summer, at the beginning of the fall, when the needles of the pine tree start to fall. The wind, we're back to it again, unrolled it fast and spread it on the ground. It's a beautiful word picture. It's as if almost borrowing from Shelley's Ode to the West Wind and that famous image of the leaves fleeing in the wind of the west wind of autumn. It's almost as if rolling out some kind of carpet or some kind of blanket or some kind of lace on the ground. Upholsterer of the pines is he, upholsterer of the pond. I love that this poem at 2a builds this notion that nature is majestic. It is as well a gift given directly to her. At 2b, well, obviously it's a brilliant riddle poem with a wonderful word picture to go along with it. At 3a, to compare other nature riddle poems, we've seen this already in poems 60, 72, 173, 297, 311, 507, 557, and 558. We'll come back to play more of this game as we go. And obviously, we mentioned Thoreau, so let's say Walden as well as Emerson's classic essay, Nature. Finally, at 3b, to own a poem like this, when was a time that you were blown away by nature and you were given a great gift that cost you nothing other than your ability to observe it. Thank you.